Join us as we focus on extraordinary Catholic people, a Catholic life. Zoom in on unique Catholic places, the Catholic experience, and take a snapshot of local Catholic events, Catholic happenings. The Living Bread Radio Network presents Catholic Close-Up, with Michael Roberts. We'll introduce you to people, places, and events that are shaping our Catholic culture today. And now, here's Michael Roberts with today's edition of Catholic Close-Up.
Hello and welcome to the show. Today we're going to talk with Jessica Driscoll Owens from the Beatitude House about their upcoming wine tasting fundraiser. We'll also sit down with Deacon Tim DeFrange from St. Patrick's in Kent. We'll talk about his new book. It all starts right now. Well, coming up here on Friday, May 11th, a fantastic fundraiser at the Embassy in Boardman. That's in the Youngstown area, and it goes to support the Beatitude House. It's their annual wine taste and auction, and Jessica Driscoll Owens joins us now by telephone. She's going to tell us all about it. Hey, Jessica, nice to have you with us.
Glad to be here.
So it sounds like a fun event. It's an annual event, right?
Yes.
How many years have it been going on now?
We are getting close to 20 years.
Oh, my goodness.
For this event.
Wow.
Yes.
So a lot of longevity. That's a lot of wine to be tasted, too, in that amount of time.
Absolutely. People love this event, and it is so much fun.
Yeah, how could you not? So let's start there. Wine tasting, all sorts of local wines. There's a lot happening. Tell us about the event.
Yeah, so everyone gets a full-course dinner, which is really nice. It's fabulous food. The Embassy does a great job. There are 3 different vendors that you can try wine from, and this year, too, we are having craft beer, so that is very new and exciting. From there, there's also there's a wine pool, there's ticket auction, there's silent auction, live auction, 50-50. I mean, there's just a lot of fun going on, a lot of things to win, a lot of things to try, a lot of great people to meet.
Well, and it sounds like it's a real fun evening, and I also like this, set to the sound of smooth jazz. What's this all about?
Yes, so we have Stan Miller, who plays jazz music. He does our music. He's done it the last 2 or 3 years, and he is just, everyone has loved him. Every year that we've talked to our committees, they say, please bring him back. So he will be there for the music that evening. Yeah,
that sounds like a lot of fun. It is the Beatitude House and their annual wine taste and auction Friday, May 11th at the Embassy in Boardman. And as you just heard mentioned, really, it's a fabulous event with a lot of things going on. And we talk about some of the things that people can win, Jessica. Maybe do some name dropping for us on some of the items or things that are up for bid.
Absolutely. So we have a couple really exciting things this year that I think people are really going to want. We have some coveted Indians tickets, some coveted Ohio State tickets, also some really great vacations, maybe Hawaii, the Carolinas. We have some really great condo packages. So I think there's going to be some really cool things. As I know, everyone is dying to get out into the warmer weather. There's going to be some great vacation packages and some great sports events.
Yeah, I think you're right there. I think everybody's kind of got spring fever, and we're looking forward to be able to get out and enjoy the summertime whenever that may be, hopefully sometime soon, but you never know. Again, a great event. It's the annual wine taste and auction. It is all benefiting the Beatitude House. It's on Friday, May 11th at the Embassy in Boardman. So the Beatitude House, Jessica, let's talk more about the organization and remind our listeners, I guess, if you will, more about the organization.
Mm-hmm. So Beatitude House has been around for over 27 years, and we provide housing for homeless women and children, well, homeless families, really. A lot of case support work there. You know, a lot of these families have been through a lot of trauma, just a lot of bad situations that have gotten them to where they are, and so we provide case management support with them to work through that trauma, to help them get on their feet, find a job, maybe get some education if needed, and really just get them to a place that not only do they now have stable housing, but they can make a better life for themselves.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. What are some of the numbers or the statistics, rather, Jessica, of how many people that you're able to serve in a given year?
In a given year, It's about 70 people.
Wow.
Yeah. It changes from year to year depending on, how fast some people move through the program
Sure.
and how long they stay. But it ranges. About 70 is probably a pretty average number.
So specifically, is this something just in the Youngstown area, or is this kind of a regional or national? What are some of the specifics on that?
So we have multiple housing places in Youngstown, but we also have housing in Ashtabula County.
Oh, okay. So very
So
good.
it does reach beyond Youngstown. We have some services we provide too, because we also have a scholars program. It's newer, that provides help with educational expenses, not always in the form of scholarships, because a lot of the people that would qualify for this program often get scholarships, but perhaps, it makes a difference if you can't get to class because your car broke down.
Sure.
So we have a lot of support like that, and we have those services in Mahoning, Trumbull, and Ashtabula counties.
Yeah, that's fantastic. We're talking with Jessica Driscoll Owens. In particular, we're talking about a fundraiser that helps support the Beatitude House, but we're also finding out more about the Beatitude House in general. If you're looking for a fun evening, maybe a chance to win some items, or perhaps enjoy a nice wine tasting, you can take part in this, the Beatitude House's annual wine taste and auction, Friday, May 11th at the Embassy in Boardman. All kinds of great things going on, a lot of ways to win, and at the same time support a fantastic cause. So, Jessica, if people are interested in getting tickets or perhaps learning more about this, how can they get a hold of you or get a hold of those tickets for the event?
Yeah, so there's 3 ways to do that. The first way would be to visit our website, which is just beatitudehouse.com. We have a section on our events tab there that you can find out more. You could also visit our Facebook page. We also have the event listed there, and it will take you directly to buy tickets online. Or if you prefer, you can call us at 330-744-3147, and we can help you out with tickets that way.
And also about the Beatitude House, if perhaps some people would like to learn more about the organization, is there a website for the Beatitude House then?
Yes, it's the www.beatitudehouse.com.
Okay,
we have all of our information there, and you can get connected with us.
Yeah, fantastic. Again, it's the Beatitude House, serving so many in need, and it's a great opportunity to help support the Beatitude House, which has been serving homeless and disadvantaged women and families really for over 27 years. Our guest has been Jessica Driscoll Owens. She is looking forward to a fantastic event. I know our listeners are too. So, Jessica, thanks so much for joining us. Here's hoping you have a fantastic event on the 11th.
Well, thanks so much for having me.
Christopher Minutes, thoughts on making every day count. I'm Tony Rossi. In 1983, actor Andy Griffith thought his life might be over when he was diagnosed with an inflammatory nerve disease. With no cure or treatment, Griffith's pain and partial paralysis became debilitating until an old friend, psychiatrist Dr. Leonard Rosengarten, led him to the help he needed. Griffith wrote in Guideposts magazine that he found renewed hope simply from hearing a doctor acknowledge his condition and promise to get him through it. With medication and mental imagery techniques, his life soon improved. And what did Griffith learn from all this? He said, "Each of us faces pain, but I firmly believe that in every situation, no matter how difficult, God extends grace greater than the hardship." This message was brought to you by the Christophers. Thanks for listening, and remember that it's better to light one candle than to curse the darkness.
We're keeping up with smart speaker technology at the Living Bread Radio Network. We now offer an exclusive Alexa skill. What that means is with your Alexa-enabled device, all you have to say is, "Alexa, enable Living Bread Radio." Then, "Alexa, play Living Bread Radio," and she'll do the rest. Once you enable Living Bread Radio, which you only have to do once, you'll be ready for any additional features that we add in the future. Find out more at livingbreadradio.com under About Smart Speaker Technology.
2018 marks the 75th anniversary of the Diocese of Youngstown. All are invited to a special opening Mass at St. Columba Cathedral on Pentecost Sunday, May 20th at 4 p.m. This Mass will begin a year-long celebration of Ohio's youngest Catholic diocese. The Living Bread Radio Network will bring you special live coverage of the Mass beginning at 3:30. For more information, check out our special anniversary page at livingbreadradio.com.
Programming on the Living Bread Radio Network is mission-driven. We have several attractive sponsorship opportunities associated with our local programming for area businesses. Place your business name with our local programming, such as the Sunday Mass, the Bishop's Corner, or the next season of Catholic Challenge. Help us proclaim the truth and include your business in one of our cost-effective sponsorship opportunities. Call 888-966-2903 or email sales@livingbreadradio.com.
The month of May is dedicated to the Blessed Virgin Mary. Holiest Virgin, with all my heart I venerate you above all the angels and saints in heaven as the daughter of the Eternal Father, and I consecrate to you my soul with all its powers. Holiest Virgin, with all my heart I venerate you above all the angels and saints in heaven as the mother of the only begotten Son, and I consecrate to you my body with all its senses. Holiest Virgin, with all my heart I venerate you above all the angels and saints in heaven as the beloved spouse of the Holy Spirit, and I consecrate to you my heart with all its afflictions. Holiest Virgin, intercede for me with the Holy Trinity, for the graces I need for salvation. To you I entrust all my worries and miseries, my life and the end of my life, so that all my actions may be directed by the divine plan. Amen.
The Living Bread Radio Network presents Great Catholic Music. Enjoy an hour of nonstop sacred music every Sunday. It's a great way to keep holy the Sabbath. Great Catholic Music, Sundays at 1 p.m. on the Living Bread Radio Network.
We've got more Catholic Close-Up on the way, but let's hear some music right now. It's Sacred Silence by Tom Booth. You're listening to Catholic Close-Up on the Living Bread Radio Network.
Sacred silence, holy ocean, gentle water washing over me. Help me listen, Holy Spirit, come and speak to me. God my Father, Christ my brother, Holy Spirit sanctifying me. Lord, I'm sorry, please forgive me. Come and set me free. Sacred silence, holy ocean, gentle water washing over me. Help me listen, Holy Spirit, come and speak to me. Holy Mary, gentle mother, God's pure vessel, praying for me. Saints and angels, all in heaven, come and be with me. Sacred silence, holy ocean, gentle water washing over me.
Lover of Souls, Memories of Father Alan Simpson. It's a brand new book by Deacon Tim DeFran. She is a deacon at St. Patrick Parish in Kent, Ohio, good friend of our radio station. This isn't his first book, I might add, but the book is called Lover of Souls, but it might be said that Deacon Tim is a lover of history, and he joins us now in the studio. Deacon Tim, welcome. Nice to have you.
Thank you.
So this is your third book, to be exact.
Yeah, I wrote a history of the parish in 2014, and then I collaborated with Father Culp on a biography called Chaplain and a Half. That was a lot of fun to write. The two of us worked together with his many memorabilia, and we put that book together as a team. But this book kind of wrote itself. I had been at St. Pat's ever since I was a little boy in school, and I always remembered this black priest, Father Simpson, who was very dear to my mom and dad and was also very dear to the parish. And I was watching all the people who knew who he was. They were all dying because it was so many years ago.
Sure.
And it just seemed like a shame for nobody to write down their memories before they passed away. So I started asking people if they would just, it was in the bulletin, please call or contact Deacon Tim if you have any memories of Father Simpson. He'd been gone 45 years.
Sure.
So the phone calls and the memories just poured in. And it just seemed like such a shame not to write them all down and put them in a record. And the book kind of wrote itself just by the photographs that people gave me and the things that I was able to find on my own. It became a real eye-opening experience. This is a priest who is a very holy man and who suffered like Jesus as a black man treated poorly by white people, whom he was the servant to and for. He's a very holy priest.
Without going into too much detail, Deacon Tim, because we don't want to spoil it, we do want people to read the book, but he's ordained a priest and he's assigned to a parish during a time when, as you alluded to, prejudice was very much alive and well. It's not only a part of church history, it's a part of our nation's history. We all know it. We've all studied it.
That's right.
But that kind of added a whole new dimension to his priesthood.
Well, he grew up in Iowa, and he lived in this community that was pretty much all black people. I mean, there were black undertakers and doctors and whatever, outside Ottumwa, Iowa. And he lived in this kind of community where everybody was just a professional. It wasn't a bunch of people who did work for white people. They were all doing their own professions. Right. And he wanted to be a priest and went to the seminary. I can't remember it now. It's in the book. Yeah. But they had a special mission to ordain black priests. And the founder said, we can't exclude a whole race of men just because of the color of their skin. Sure. And they were taught that if they were stationed in a rectory with all white priests, to expect prejudice and to learn how to cope with it. And I think that's what helped him get through the prejudice he experienced at the rectory at St. Pat's in Kent in 1948 through 1952, when he was treated so badly.
I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, you would expect the rectory to be kind of a safe haven, so to speak. But at that time, that was not the case. And we're talking about having to sleep in the attic, having to eat alone, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about things that today, can you imagine things like that happening today?
No. And, there were lots of, one of the elderly people that remembered Father Simpson said that she thought that about 60% of the parish didn't want him, that there was that much, you might say, prejudice amongst the parish. But amongst those 40%, if indeed her assessment is accurate, which we can never really know.
Sure.
But among those 40% were all these loving, devoted, enthusiastic, and welcoming souls. And Father Simpson could leave the rectory and go from one home to another for dinner and for social life and for just being treated as a person. Right. And he developed these deep, wonderful friendships with whole families, all of which never forgot him.
We're talking with Deacon Tim DeFran. She is a deacon at St. Patrick Parish in Kent. He wrote the book Lover of Souls, Memories of Father Alan Simpson, and it is a very compelling story. He was a very compelling man, and again, just listening or reading rather about his experiences and his life is just truly amazing. And I must admit, Deacon Tim, from my perspective, reading this book, the first thing that came to my mind on some of this was it's embarrassing. It's scandalous, really. I mean, it's not something that I, as a strong Catholic, would like to admit that stuff like this was happening to Father Simpson.
Well, it was very important for me to try to corroborate one person's memories with another.
Sure.
And the memories of the mistreatment, were very specific, with the people who remembered even the names of the priests, and what actually happened. And I heard it from more than one source, so it was very important for me to not put any names down and then have someone's memory be... we really don't know if the priest involved ever apologized. You can't just assume that recompense or an attempt to show sorrow for the mistreatment towards Father Simpson, it might have been attempted.
Right.
Or, we can't judge people, and we just have to pray for people.
True.
And remember, they lived at a time when it was sort of a normal thing that you didn't let black people eat in your restaurant or sleep in your hotel, that they had to find their own place. And it wasn't fair, but it's just the way the world was.
That was the
then.
culture.
Yeah.
Water fountains, different water fountains, restrooms, the whole 9 yards. Yeah. Deacon Tim, as you were going through all of this and composing this, and I know you said a lot of it kind of just fell into place, but were there some things that kind of surprised you? Were there some things that you didn't know, or you thought, wow?
Well, my mom and my dad were very close to Father Simpson, and we knew that the Legion of Mary was close to Father Simpson's heart. He founded it with my mother and another woman in the parish, and it became a very important presidium in the area, in the diocese, and Father Simpson's was the first chaplain. And the Legion, many people don't know much about the Legion of Mary, but it's a rigorous organization requiring strict rules, and it's always done with a priest present. And members go out on calls, and it's very apostolic. It's a beautiful, beautiful evangelistic movement. And Father Simpson and my mother and father were very close to one another, and Father was over a lot. And I had thought that my relationship with Father Simpson and my mom and dad's was sort of like the only one like that.
Wow.
And then to hear of all of these people who, my age, remembered Father coming in to see their mom and dad and eating dinner at their house, I quickly discovered that as dear as he was to our family, he was even more dear to other families. It was very humbling to see how much love other people and how anxious they were to protect him. It was a dad who had money, who stopped the mistreatment by talking money to the pastor who was trying to build a church.
Wow.
So this was somebody who was having Father over regularly, and he did not know of this mistreatment that had been going on for 4 years.
Wow.
And when he found out, because he employed a couple of people who did know, he went down to the rectory and talked to the pastor. And he said, he is never not to eat with you, and get him out of that attic.
Deacon Tim, it sounds to me like Father Simpson truly embraced what we hear in Scripture from Jesus in so many different ways. But, in particular, the fact that we need to take up our cross and all of the different things we hear. It sounds to me like he truly embraced that. And so it goes with what you were saying. Nobody really knew that he was going through all this.
He wasn't trying to get sympathy from people.
Right.
And there was really only one of the people he was going to see who knew about the mistreatment. He didn't tell the rest of the family. He's only told one. It's just that one person happened to be working for the father of a man who was a significant donor to the parish and had not yet made his pledge for the new church. Wow. And that just was, I think, God at work. Just like God is at work in the hearts of people who recognize the injustice that when they see it, and just the goodness in someone like Father Simpson. He was, I think, aware that people didn't know what they were doing
Sure.
to him. Just like Jesus on the cross,
Yeah.
Father, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing.
Right.
He was able to recognize the ignorance that some people had and to just go with the flow. He never, ever... There were a couple who were getting help from Father Simpson at some point, and another priest that was an associate happened to drop by and showed them some of the written things that were written to Father that were terrible. It was like he had collected them. And he said there are a whole bunch of stuff. He gets stuff all the time like this. So Father Simpson didn't tell her about it. It was the other assistant who showed them this poster that was written and sent to Father Simpson on shelf paper that said, I will never take communion from a black hand. Wow.
You can hear more about Father Alan Simpson when you pick up the new book, Lover of Souls, authored by Deacon Tim DeFrange, our good friend from St. Patrick's Parish in Kent, Ohio. Truly, folks, it is a compelling book. It is available for purchase at St. Raphael Bookstore in Canton. It's a great read, an easy read. Stop by and pick this up and learn more about this. We're talking about a priest who truly made a profound impact in so many different ways in the history of not only the Diocese of Youngstown, but Kent and Portage County and the surrounding parishes. Deacon Tim, we're out of time, but I want to thank you so much for coming in. Once again, Lover of Souls, Memories of Father Alan Simpson, a new book by Deacon Tim DeFrange. It is available for purchase at St. Raphael Bookstore in Canton. Deacon Tim, thanks so much for coming in. Always great to see you.
It's always good to be on your show. Thank you, Michael.
And that's our show for today. Thanks so much for listening. I'm Michael Roberts, and until next time, be at peace. Tune in next week as we continue to take an in-depth look at our Catholic community right here on Catholic Close-Up.
Catholic Close-Up is a production of the Living Bread Radio Network in Canton, Ohio. For an audio archive of today's program, visit livingbreadradio.com, where you can subscribe to the weekly podcast. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week for another edition of Catholic Close-Up.